Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Today we're making a Black Mage build for Final Fantasy Tactics. Now this is going to be applicable to Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles that comes out later this month, which is a remaster of the original game. And the goal for this video is to put together a viable Black Mage build that you can quickly get to and then play with it for the rest of the game. Now, real quick before we get into the build, I'm probably not going to be doing a video on every job, and that's simply because I'm going to be making builds when the actual game comes out, and I'd want to do more of them with the updated graphics and visuals, because right now I'm just restricted to using the original version. You can almost just treat these as an opportunity just to talk about Final Fantasy Tactics, because I don't know about you guys, I'm very excited about Ivalice Chronicles. So if any of this sounds good to you and the future content we're going to be making towards the game, consider joining the channel. And yeah, let's get started. So first things first, how do you unlock the Black Mage in Final Fantasy Tactics? Well, you just need to be Chemist level 2. And I'll actually make a note right here. If you simply just unlock Black Mage, or in this case it's Wizard because it's the original translation, if you just stop at Wizard and you just play Wizard the entire time for the rest of the game, that actually is completely viable because the tool set that Wizard comes with, or Black Mage comes with, is really strong. So it actually doesn't need a lot of help from a secondary job or getting other skills, because at face value, the Black Mage is going to be just slinging a lot of arcane spells and doing a lot of damage, and they have everything they need baked right into their job. But this would be a pretty short video if we stopped at Black Mage here. Instead, I want you to unlock Oracle really quick as well. So you're going to need 2 levels into White Mage, or in this case Priest, because this is the original translation. But Oracle here is going to give us the movement ability we want, and then after that we're set up and we're good to go. So once you unlock Oracle, let's go ahead and move to the ability page. Now this is what I would consider like a low tier build for Black Mage that's really easy to achieve, that can last you for the rest of the game, and is actually very powerful. So for our secondary job, we want the item, which you get from Chemist. There's 2 reasons for that. 1, potions. You're able to heal yourself, which Black Mage has like no support ability, so that's a nice way to basically get your health up or allies' health. But more importantly is your access to ethers, and those are going to be a great source to get back a lot of MP, because once we unlock some high level spells like our fire 3s or bolt 3s or ice 3s or even flare, that's going to eat up a lot of MP. So being able to regain a chunk of it just by using an ether is really helpful. And ethers actually aren't that expensive. Additionally, what we're going to get from Chemist is our reaction in auto potion. With most of my builds, you will probably hear me mention auto potion because it is just a universal reaction ability that's going to mitigate damage after you're hit. And then in most cases, you'll actually out heal the damage that you received. And then for our support ability, we went with magic attack up. Because we're a Black Mage, obviously our magic is going to be scaled off of our magic power. In the updated translation, I think it's called Arcane Strength instead, but they both do the same thing. And then for our movement ability, this is why we took Oracle. Every time our character moves, they will gain MP, and the longer distance you travel, the more MP we will gain. This is a nice passive way to continually get MP. Now, there are some early on options we can do in our support ability here. Instead of going magic attack up, instead go with short charge. This is going to reduce our charge between spells so we don't have to wait as long. Because I don't know about you guys, but in the original game, when I would cast spells, I wouldn't really ever look at the turn order because you'd have to dive into another menu just to see the full list, and it was always a pain in the ass. So having short charge here just to ensure that, yeah, my spell's going to go off at a reasonable time always is really handy. Now in Ivalice Chronicles, it's going to be really easy to tell when your Black Mage is going to cast a spell, because it's all going to be right there available in the battle UI. So it's going to make it really easy to plan out where you need to position your Black Mage, and then if you can get a spell off before they get hit. Now this build you're looking at here, this is very early on, very easy to get to, and is going to be really strong and viable throughout the game. But this isn't the only build variation I want to talk about. Now I want to move on to more of an advanced build for Black Mage. And actually, before we talk too much about the advanced build for a Black Mage, let's talk about 2 very important stats: bravery and faith. Bravery, the higher your bravery is, the more likely your character is going to proc their reaction if the conditions are met. And then with faith, the higher your faith is, the more potent your character will be with magic. But it's a double-edged sword. So on the benefit side, you'll be doing more damage with your offensive spells, and you'll receive more healing from like a cure from a White Mage. But on the flip side, you'll take more damage from magic attack coming from your enemies. So keep that in mind. So for a Black Mage here, obviously we're going to want high magic stat. That's really easy to manipulate with gear, but when you're recruiting a character or you're looking to make somebody a Black Mage, just make sure they have pretty high bravery and also pretty high faith as well. This character has 61 faith, That's actually not too high, but it's pretty decent. Anything below 60, I probably wouldn't make that character a magic user. Now back to the more advanced version of the Black Mage build here, you can see that I just put on Summon Magic. Summoner is excellent to pair with Black Mage because Summoner has some of those support abilities like Moogle, Golem, or Fairy, but they also have access to those big damage summons as well, something like Cyclops. Now, if you do pair this with something like Summoner, you're definitely going to need that MP up as your movement ability, because if you think Black Mage eats up a lot of MP, Summoner actually eats up a lot more. They do have the support ability half MP, where you'll only use half your MP for a spell, but honestly, I would rather have a shorter charge time or more damage added to my magic spells rather than cutting the MP in half. So we have that Summoner variant here, but this is the one I really want to show you, and that's pairing Black Mage with Samurai. Now some of you might be thinking, Samurai, that doesn't make any sense. They use like a katana, so like how does that mix with a Black Mage? Well, I'll tell you, their job ability, Draw Out, actually scales with your magic stat and not your physical stat. Kind of makes Samurai like a weird job. But that's fine because we can use that Samurai job to make our wizard even stronger. The Samurai Draw-Out abilities are instant cast, they don't cost any MP, they have supportive options, and they're a nice way to dish out damage when enemies are in close range. It's a weird pairing, but goddamn does it work. Now the katanas you use, they can break, so if you break an expensive one or a high tier one, that kind of does hurt the soul a little bit. Now what else we can get from Samurai is Blade Grasp, or I think in the War of the Lions translation it's Shirahadori, is that it? I think that's it. Anyways, what this reaction will do is it'll protect you against most physical attacks, as in they'll have a very, very low % chance of hitting you with a physical attack, and that includes ranged weapons like a bow or crossbow, which is very helpful because archers are pretty good at sniping Black Mages in the back line. Alright y'all, that's my Black Mage build. Kind of gave you a couple variations on it. That first one, a little bit more basic, but it's going to be completely fine to carry you through the game. And then one a little more advanced with either pairing it with Summoner or Samurai. Now those aren't the only ways to build out your Black Mage. You could pair it with something like a White Mage or the actual Oracle or Time Mage as well to kind of get more like support or utility spells. But for me, I usually like to have like a dedicated support character, and that's just not how I like to build out my Black Mages. But I'm glad we got this job out of the way because we have a Black Mage right behind us. So that just kind of felt appropriate. Now there are some nuances with the stats that we didn't go over or touch too much on, like something like your faith stat. If it's too high, your character will actually leave your party and go join the church, so that's a funny little interaction. And there are ways in the game to basically manipulate both those stats. So if you want to know more about that, just drop a comment below and I'll either answer it there, but I'll definitely include it on our next video build. But anyways, yes, that is the video. If you made it this far, I appreciate the heck out of you, and I will see you next time. Peace and take care.